YouTube, what's going on, man? It's Father Dark. For those of you that are new to this channel, these videos like this is purely just a rant. You don't have to excuse the Marvel Rivals gameplay. I really don't feel like loading up Call of Duty in its current state just to play, just to give you guys that visual aesthetic in the background. So you're gonna have to deal with this Marvel Rivals gameplay. And also, I just want to add too that as a preface. On this channel, there are no agendas. There's a lot of content creators. I'm not calling anyone out specifically. I'm just stating facts here that they either kind of go one way or the other. They either jump on kind of like this hate train, or they're completely overly positive and brush over everything that's wrong with the game and just try to get people hyped. And that is what a lot of content creators do. That is the whole point. You have to find a niche and you have to stick to it. Whereas on my channel, my approach to a lot of stuff is that I just talk to you. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, a son, a brother. And, my whole thing is that when I make videos for you all, I simply just want to talk to you as if you were in my game room here with me, just chilling on one of the couches or something. I'm sitting at my desk and we're just having a normal, organic conversation going back and forth. And the other thing is that I view myself as a pretty fair person, right? Just because I dislike someone or something and I disagree with it, that does not mean that I'm going to sit here and just say stuff just to be hating that's irrational or unreasonable, whatever the case is. Let's say that there's an individual that I disagree with and I don't like them or as a person or something that they're doing or whatever. And I say, hey, what time is it? And they go, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. And then I look at another clock and it says it's 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm not going to sit here and go, well, no, you're wrong just because I don't like you. So I'm going to disagree with everything that you're doing. Right. That's kind of just a way of understanding kind of like how my mind works. Right. I'm very straightforward and to the point. And, I try to think about things in a fair perspective. Right. And whatever my perspective is, it should apply to everything. And if I can't apply that same rationale or logic to everything, then that means it's not going to compute in my brain. Right. So there'll be times when I say things and, you may go, oh, well, I thought we were hating on COD. Why are you agreeing with this? Or why are you sympathizing with this? Right. Or, people like to call you a sellout or say whatever. The thing is that I disagree with things when they're wrong and I agree with them when they're right, regardless of the person or who it is. And that applies to everything and everyone, right? So with that being said, in that preface, let's just go ahead and get into it, right? So kind of at a rock and a hard place here with Call of Duty, simply because it's easier for me to be upset with Call of Duty and disagree with them and not want to play their game when they're not popping out bundles that I want really, really bad, right? Ever since we had the initial, if you want to call it that, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover back in Modern Warfare 2, all they released was Shredder. And at the time, that irritated me. But at the time, I was having a great time playing the game. See, this channel was built off of Call of Duty, right? And if you're somebody who's, here because of Marvel Rivals content, don't worry, we're getting back to that. But at the same time, though, this channel was built off of Call of Duty. The majority of followers that I've amassed, the majority of views and stuff that I've gotten, which last year, just want to say thank you to the people that watch the content. We got like 2.3 million views, and this channel had only been up for like a year. Over on TikTok, I have 12K followers. Literally, regularly get 3 to 4 million views. And all of that was primarily Call of Duty content. I mean, Rivals has only really been out for a handful of months now. So, even though I'm enjoying the game, at heart, I'm a Call of Duty player. What this is like is it's like a bad relationship that you're in. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You're in a relationship with somebody. They do nothing that you want. They don't act a way that's healthy mentally or physically in the relationship. You start to leave, and then they start texting you and calling you and saying, "Oh, well, I'm gonna do this," or they're dropping off flowers, or if you're a guy, it's not really that, but you get what I'm saying. Though you get the point that I'm making, right? They're saying and doing all the right things. They say, "Oh, it's gonna be different this time. It'll be different, we promise." And then you get back with them and it's the same exact thing. My father used to tell me, whatever made you leave initially is still there, because people don't change. Now I kind of disagree with that. I think that people do have the potential to change. It's just kind of a numbers game. And statistically, the majority of people, their habits do not change. If you're someone who doesn't clean up your home, you're probably not going to clean up your home next week. If you procrastinate, that's probably just how you're going to be as a person. Now, I do believe that some people wake up and they say, hey, today is going to be different and I'm going to start actively trying to change particular things. But your core habits are kind of built from the ground up, like at younger ages, right? In your developing years. And, I think about it like, I grew up in a household with a military father and a mother that was, a very, very like just ridiculously clean person. She used to do glove tests, which is where you put on the glove and you swipe your finger on surfaces and stuff to see if there's dust on it. My father, when we made up the bed, he used to have to, flip a quarter off of it. And, if it, didn't bounce, that means it was made up correctly. If it did, then, I'm sorry, vice versa, right? If it did bounce, that means that, it was made up correctly. And if it didn't, then it wasn't. Right. So, this is the kind of upbringing that I had. So like now as an adult, I'm a very like meticulous person when it comes to my household and how clean it is. My office, everything is in place. The kids, when they wake up in the morning, all I ask is that they do their chores and clean up their room, and then they can do whatever it is they want to do for the day. That's just kind of how I am as a person, right? And you're not going to like change that about me. My wife, though, on the other hand, she's not necessarily the most clean person, right? And that's kind of the thing is like we balance each other out. That's fine. She doesn't have to be clean. She loves to cook, and I don't like to cook. So there, that's the whole point of a relationship, right? But the point that I'm making is that Call of Duty is that toxic relationship. They continuously put out content. They continuously say, well, we're going to do this. We're going to change this. We're going to update this. They specifically will take away quality of life improvements and features and things like that simply to, in my opinion, and I don't know this for a fact, but it feels like they will purposely remove things that they know people. You just have to ask yourself a question, right? If you add quality of life improvements in, like let's say, for example, when the new COD comes out or the new, they update Warzone or something, right? They'll take away little things. For example, up under your health bar, right, for the team to be able to see. They'll add in the ability to see how many plates someone has, if they have a kill streak, et cetera, like a self-res, all that kind of stuff. And then the new Warzone will come out and they'll take all that stuff away. Now, there's numerous examples of things that I could say that are very similar to that just quality of life improvements. If you've been playing COD long enough, since Modern Warfare 2019, since we've started the whole Warzone journey and all that kind of stuff, then you've seen a lot of this stuff come, and then you've seen a lot of it go. They love to like every year just switch things around for no reason. Me, I'm all about changing stuff around. Sometimes I change my office around, flip stuff from one side to the other just to kind of get a visual change, right? It's nice. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of people just kind of need like a visual change sometimes. But sometimes, the age-old adage that, if it's not broke, there's no need to fix it, right? So like, why every year do you change a lot of this stuff? Now, I'm once again, this is a rant, so excuse me for kind of jumping around. I'm just kind of, airing out my grievances that I have with COD and kind of like how I feel about a lot of stuff and why it is that I'm not necessarily like jumping on to play and I'm not excited about playing. This is the first time that I bought a battle pass and haven't maxed it out like within the first like week that it's been out from just playing organically, right? Like I think I got like up to like tier 13 or 14 and just stopped because I'm just like, this is just killing me, hackers running rampant and stuff like that. But back to the point though, they purposely will take away things just to come back later and say, look at what we did, and in my opinion, that's kind of like it's like when a person is purposely terrible, it's just a terrible individual. And that way they lower the bar for themselves, right? I feel like you kind of, a lot of people, if you have siblings, you've kind of seen this, right? How like you can be a sibling who, excuse me, allergies acting up, but you can be a sibling who makes all A's. You're constantly doing what you're supposed to be doing. You behave. You never have any issues in school. Your parents will start to expect that out of you, right? Like they'll say, well, that's the good kid. This is what you do. You don't do these particular things, right? And then you might have the sibling that is just out there ripping and running the streets. They're constantly in trouble. They're always getting suspended. They get F's and stuff like that in school. And then, the parents are just like, well, thank God he went to school today. You were supposed to go to school today. Oh, well, at least he didn't get an F. He got a D. What are we doing? He more than likely, or they more than likely have the potential to get higher than a D. It's just they've purposely set the bar so low that when they pretty much do anything, people are like, oh, well, thank God this isn't happening. The cheating problem in Call of Duty is just absolutely insane, right? And to sit back and say that it's an issue that cannot be fixed is just, that's not true. It's just not true. there are some games where cheating is absolutely ridiculous, and then there's games and I don't mind giving someone the benefit of the doubt. When you first release a game, I'm sure there's so many things that you're worried about, right? And it's a cat and mouse game with cheaters and hackers. They're constantly, you create an anti-cheat, they figure out a way around it. At the end of the day, it's zeros and ones, so there's gonna be some way to get around it to an extent. But we also live in a day and age where AI is like ridiculously capable, and every day it's getting better. Anyone who keeps up with like AI, like for example, ChatGPT first launched like last year, the year before, or something like that. It hasn't been that long since it's been a thing, and we're already up to the 5th iteration. I was using it the other day, and in real time, it asked me, it was like, hey, do you prefer this answer or this answer? And this other answer is actually the one from the updated version. And if you'd like to use this version, just click this little thing. Boom, we're on. That's AI and that's learning, right? Now, like I said, I try to be a fair person, but when it comes to the cheating, like the amount, I don't mind if I run into a cheater every once in a while. There's no game out there where there are just not cheaters. I can type in any game right now and I can find a clip of someone cheating in the game. The issue is how quickly do you deal with the cheaters that are in the game? How efficiently do you deal with them? How invasive is your anti-cheat? Because to me, at the end of the day, my gaming computer is literally only used for gaming. I have 2 PCs. I have one that I'm recording this video on, and then I have another one that is strictly for just gaming. I don't do anything on it. I don't open the browser. Nothing gets downloaded on it unless it is pertaining to a game, some type of feature that I need, right? Like not a feature, but a program or a background service or whatever it is that's needed for that particular game, right? Outside of that, there's nothing on it. Right. So I don't care if your anti-cheat is, it's not like I have like personal stuff on here, and I highly doubt people at Call of Duty are sitting back like, yo, we got to make a super invasive anti-cheat so that we can go through people's files and look at their, inappropriate pictures or whatever it might be that you have on there that you're scared of. Right. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Like, why in the year 2025 they have not figured out some way with all of the money that they have. I mean, it is so much money that the regular individuals like me and you cannot even comprehend it. We can say it. We can say, oh, well, they make, what is it, like so many billions of dollars from the annual game that releases every year. And then like, I think the last time I saw the numbers, it was like $6 or $9 billion every 3 months from microtransactions. And it might have went up since then. I don't know. But the thing is that once you start doing the math on that, there was a reason why Microsoft said, hey, let's buy them out for close to $100 billion. There was a reason for that. There was also a reason why PlayStation was like, hey, you know what? We can literally not compete if Microsoft buys Call of Duty or Activision, Blizzard and King, and they don't give us access to it. They were so afraid that Microsoft was going to make it a console exclusive or, exclusive to PC, obviously, and, Xbox, that they went through hell and high water to try to stop this acquisition until Microsoft had to put it in paper that they were like, you know what, we're going to not only put it on PlayStation, but we'll also put it on the Nintendo Switch. They actually had to say that. That was what, everybody was worried about. And if you don't believe me, there's nothing to believe. I don't talk about anything unless you can look it up yourself. This was all public information. All of this stuff that was happening during the buyout, this was all public information. PlayStation at no point mentioned any other games. Now you got to think about this, right? This is Activision, Blizzard, and King. They're all one company. Right? They're all into the same thing. King makes some of the most profitable games on the planet. They make like Candy Crush and all types of stuff. And I know people might be like, oh, Candy Crush. Candy Crush racks in a ridiculous amount of money. You got senior citizens and just regular everyday people that are out here spending crazy money on Candy Crush. Now, I've never played it myself, but people out here spending a ridiculous amount of money on that game. Same thing with Blizzard. Look at Blizzard and just look up how many games are under Blizzard, right? Same thing with Activision. Look how many games that Activision makes. But you know what? None of them are as profitable or as cared about or as much of a blockbuster and anticipated yearly release and played as Call of Duty. And that's just a fact. So you have all this money, yet you can't make an anti-cheat. Now, let me move on from the anti-cheat. Let me talk about something else that, a lot of people that I've seen on Twitter, I'm not calling it X, it's Twitter to me, but something that a lot of people are talking about. And this is one of those moments where you're going to have to bear with me because it's just me being fair, right? I played a lot of free-to-play games since that's in the last, little over half a decade that this has become kind of like the norm for games as a service, which are these live, updated free-to-play games and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about, you know, the Ninja Turtle bundles, and they're like, oh, well, you know, I thought they would put them all in one bundle and just sell that for $20 or $30. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? You know, let's just be real here for a second. This is $1 billion company. When you're $1 billion company, it's not you and 4 guys in a shed, you know, or a garage programming this thing and making this game. This is a corporation now. Do you understand how many people have to get paid? Just look up how many people are on the Call of Duty development team, right? Then look up the average salary of one of these people. Then look up how much you have to pay when you're that size to even be able to afford the licensing for one of the biggest properties and IPs in the world. Everybody knows who the Ninja Turtles are. Find me somebody on the street who doesn't know who the Ninja Turtles are. You could care nothing about Ninja Turtles and you know who Ninja Turtles are. Once you've reached that status where everyone knows about something, not just the people in your niche or the fans, but everyone knows about it. Been around since before I was even born, Ninja Turtles existed. And I'm a dinosaur. I'm in my 30s. So if it's been around longer than I existed and it stood the test of time, my kids play with Ninja Turtles. My kids watch Ninja Turtles. You know, and that brings me, you know, to another point. You know, my youngest son, he loves Fortnite, right? And I think that's what a lot of people will say, like, you know, in comment sections and stuff under COD. They'll say, I saw a guy, he goes, everybody switch over to Fortnite. You know, Fortnite has way better priced bundles and all of this and yada, yada, yada. Fortnite pops out like 5 bundles a day. It blows my mind how many bundles are in Fortnite. I went to play Fortnite with my youngest son, and this is like last year or something like that. I went to go play with him, and I was overwhelmed by how much stuff I had missed, because I stopped playing after like season probably like 6 or 7 or somewhere around there, and you know, started playing Apex and then Warzone, etc. But when I was just scrolling through, and this is just the stuff that I could see, right? Like in the shop, or that there was just like, you know, there was a way to access it to where you could see, you know, we're talking about 15 different variations of every Marvel character that's known to man. You got Halo, every DC character, all the stuff that's happened in the Battle Pass, just random collabs like Dragon Ball Z and pretty much every other anime that you can think of. I mean, they're branching out to animes that I've never even heard of. And I watch anime. You know, I mean, I'm not like the biggest anime enthusiast, but I know all of the prominent animes and stuff, right? But I digress. The point that I'm making is there is probably at this point thousands upon thousands upon thousands of different skins with like 1,000 variations for half of those skins, right? So, and the thing is that it's different in aspect too, to where like they break it up and let you buy individual stuff out of these bundles, right? So it's a completely different thing. But, you know, the point that I was making originally is that, you know, my son comes to me, you know, a couple weeks ago, or it was a couple weeks ago, it was a couple months back, whenever Fortnite had their Ninja Turtle bundles that dropped. Now, I don't know if that was the first time they've done it, but that was the first time that my son actually came to me and started asking me for, you know, he's young, so he's just gotten to the point to where he actually cares about his appearance in a video game. He played Roblox all last year, Fortnite all last year, and never once asked for anything in the game. He was perfectly fine just playing. And a lot of times I'd let him log in and play through my account, you know, but even then I only had like the original skins. Now he was rocking the, you know, one of the rare skins in the game, the Dark Knight skin from the first Battle Pass, but still he didn't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? To him, it was just a random skin, you know? But as time goes on, that's what kids do. They progress. They start to care about their appearance more, right? The same way that we used to just dress him in whatever and he didn't care. And now he's to a point to where he doesn't like us to dress him anymore. He likes to go in the closet and find his own outfit, right? He's getting his own style. So, you know, long story short, he comes to me and he goes, yo, Dad, you know, I need V-Bucks. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you need V-Bucks for, buddy? First thing that he wanted in the game was one of the Ninja Turtles. So I asked him which one he wanted. And he tells me he wants Raphael. Right. You know, as a dad, as a gamer, as someone who loves, you know, all of this stuff, comic books, pop culture, all that kind of stuff, you know, I was like, okay, you know, you have a lot of fun playing Fortnite. You know, you've been good in school. You know, you keep your grades up and stuff like that. You've been making your bed up and cleaning your room like I told you to. Okay, here's $20 for the Ninja Turtles. I think for the whole bundle it was like $20, right? And, you know, that's the point that I'm making is that, in my opinion, Fortnite bundles should be cheaper. Just me personally, I think they should be a little bit cheaper simply because I don't I can't say that I've developed skins or anything like that, but I do feel like if you said, hey, which one would you rather learn how to do, a Fortnite skin or a Call of Duty skin? I feel like if I was trying to take the easier route, right, or the beginner's route, I feel like I would go for the more cartoony Fortnite looking bundle. I feel like there's less detail, there's less stuff that goes into it. Now I could be wrong. I don't know anything about this. That's just me looking at it, right? No differently than if you told me like, hey, would you rather have to draw a stick person or some super detailed sketch, right, in a couple of minutes? I'm probably going to assume that it's easier to draw the little stick person or whatever, right? And it progressively gets harder as you go up to the super detailed, comic book level sketch, right? So, like I said, I feel like me personally, Fortnite bundles should be cheaper, but I also understand that is kind of like, that is like supply and demand. That's how the world works, right? So if everybody is charging, let's say it's a bottle of water, right? If somebody wants to start selling bottles of water and they realize they go to every store around them and they say, okay, well, every gas station around here or every store sells an individual bottle of water for about $1, right? That's what other places are going to sell their bottles of water at, because that's what the fair price is. That's how things work. So if bundles regularly cost about $20, right? In most games, that's how much it normally costs. I feel like in any of the games that I play, Marvel Rivals, Apex, I don't know if Apex has changed their prices, but I would assume Apex is still somewhere around the same. Fortnite, and I know there's a lot of other games that offer like mythic skins and all this kind of crazy stuff, like League of Legends and just different games and stuff. I don't play any of those, but I've heard, from reading in different forums and stuff when skin prices were being talked about, people bringing these things up, right? Same thing with Overwatch. I'm pretty sure Overwatch is somewhere around like $20, if not cheaper. And in my opinion, with Call of Duty bundles, I feel like they should be priced at $20, simply because normally you get like tracers, you get loadouts that have cool animations and stuff like that. You get finishing moves, you get calling cards, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just like a lot of stuff in a bundle. Whereas like even in Fortnite, you only get like certain stuff. You get like the skin, you probably get like a backpack thing. Sometimes you might get a glider. Maybe you get like an emote or something like that. And some of this stuff can be bought individually, I understand, but still nonetheless though, that is like becoming the fair price for bundles. Very seldom do I see bundles and they cost any less than that. Battle passes are the same thing. Most battle passes cost around $10, and then any game that offers like an exclusive version of the battle pass where it has more, or maybe it lets you level up faster or whatever, that's usually like $15-20. And like I was saying, that to sit back and say like, oh, well, I think the bundles are too expensive. You don't have to buy bundles. Like, you're not entitled to get free things. People have to work on these things. I don't go into anyone's job and demand that they just give me free stuff, or go, you work at McDonald's. I'm not going to walk in there and be like, yo, man, listen, I want 4 large meals that cost like, $11-12 a piece. But I think you should just give me all the meals for the price of one. Like, what are we saying here? Once again, this goes back to just applying basic logic that you would want applied to yourself, right? And I know a lot of people aren't business owners. A lot of people they have jobs, they go in and clock in and work, and it's whatever. I make content for fun a lot of times, but I also am monetized, so I make it to get paid, right? Like when I make a TikTok or I make a YouTube video or whatever, at the end of the day, I'm trying to give you something that you want, which is sometimes just something to listen to. I watch YouTube more than I watch anything else. I think I'm subscribed to like HBO Max. I think I have a Hulu subscription. I don't know. I seldom ever watch Hulu unless I just want to binge like Family Guy or something random like that, right? But Netflix, what else do we got? Amazon Prime. There's a couple different ones that I'm subscribed to, right? But at the end of the day, I'm usually watching other content creators. So I pay for YouTube Premium because I don't want to sit here and watch ads every 2 seconds. YouTube ads are absolutely invasive. Like, they're just, it's like, bro, relax with the ads. I saw like a random dude try to show me a video, one of my homeboys tried to show me a video a couple weeks back, and he didn't have YouTube Premium. I was just like, bro, like, just send me the link. I'll pull it up on my phone because I don't have time for that, man. It's like an ad every 15-20 seconds. It's just ridiculous. But nonetheless, though, yeah, I pay for YouTube Premium. I watch YouTube all the time. Usually me and my wife both. We watch YouTube all the time. She loves to watch this one dude that just all he talks about is ghosts and aliens and stuff, which, every now and again I enjoy it. But for the most part, I love watching like stuff about animals and stuff like that, history documentaries and stuff. And a lot of times it's a lot more fun when people themselves put this stuff together. Same thing with gaming content. I make gaming content, but a lot of times there's things there's people who are way more skilled at games than myself. So, the other day I wanted to learn about Spider-Man and what are the best ways and best approaches to use his abilities and stuff. I must have watched like 15 different videos on Spider-Man and Marvel Rivals and stuff, right? And it's like, even though I'm a content creator, I can't cover everything. I'm not I'm a smaller channel. So it's like, what I'm saying? Like, there's people who know more than me, have done more things. They've learned more cool tips and tricks and stuff like that. And no matter what it is, like, usually I'm relying on YouTube, right? So, that's one thing, like I said, I'm pretty sure that people that sit around and make these super long videos and stuff like that, they also want to be paid, just like, you're on YouTube right now, so you should understand that, right? And like I said, it's the same thing with anyone else. Whatever your job is, you expect to go in, work, and be paid. Imagine if I was like, yo, you know what? You should just get paid like once a week, but work the whole month, though. You look at me like I was crazy, because that would be a crazy thing for me to say. So you think when people make skins and stuff and do all this time to make the animations and finishing moves and emotes and all this other stuff, they shouldn't be paid? What do you think they went to school for? Half these people are probably still paying off student loans and debt and stuff like that. They probably got families, even if they didn't have a family. They just wanted to have money to live their life. Like, why would I deny them of that or argue against that? It's just ridiculous, But, like I said, that's just me being fair about it, right? And that was just some of the stuff that I noticed. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm more than likely going to get the Ninja Turtle bundles. I'm just being real with you, man, simply because I love Ninja Turtles. And deep down inside, I love COD. I'm extremely, like my dad used to say to me, and I say now to my kids, I'm extremely disappointed, extremely disappointed, right? And there's only so much disappointment you can take before it starts to turn into anger. Not that that's, I feel like my dad did with me, or that I'm saying you do with your kids. But when it comes to someone who's not my children, not my wife or immediate family, friends, or anything like that, and you're someone that I have no real physical ties to, like a corporation like Activision, it turns into resentment and anger, right? Because it's like, I want to be playing that game. Don't get it twisted. I really love Marvel Rivals. I have never been into hero shooters, but this is the first time that I felt like that I've been really into one, and it's causing me to step outside of my comfort zone, which has always been FPS games and like open world games and stuff, but mostly FPS games. That's like where the bread and butter is for me of my enjoyment. But if you said, hey, they got all the bugs fixed in Warzone, they found a way to get rid of like 98% of the hackers, or at least really deter people from hacking and stuff like that, I'd be right back in there. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, that's what this channel was originally created off of, or originally created for, right? But at the same time, though, I'm having to play something else simply because there's only so much mental abuse that I can take before I'm like, hey, you know what? This ain't working, man. I need you guys to, really just do better. Like, you got to do better. And I know there's a lot of people that share the same sentiment. Like I said, there's a lot of people that want to sit back and jump on this Call of Duty hate train and just say, yo, who still plays Call of Duty? Call of Duty's going to fail, blah, blah, blah. There's going to always be a group of people that are going to play Call of Duty simply because it's just, there's nothing else really that can compete in that niche. If you're a PC player, there's lots of other games that you can play. You have access to so many games that people do not have on console. On console, you are extremely limited to what you can play that is of that status, right? That is of that level in that niche of the FPS military kind of shooters. It used to be Battlefield and Call of Duty, but then Battlefield just completely fell off. Now, hopefully, when the new Battlefield comes out, when it comes out, because currently it's still being developed, you know what I mean? They're gonna have like a whole year of just letting people test it out and stuff before they even think about releasing it. So you still got a while, right? I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, GTA 6 is coming out. Don't get it twisted. Love GTA. Cannot wait. I must have bought GTA 5 like 7 different times between buying it on different consoles and buying the different versions, because it's been out since like 2012, I think is when it initially came out. You got to think about it. That's over a decade this game has been out and still receiving updates. And every time a new gen console came out, they upgraded it and made a new version of it, right? And I bought every single one. And back in the day, I used to go between PlayStation and Xbox just depending upon what, friends and family and stuff were playing on, because we didn't have cross-platform. But once again, I digress. That's the thing with making a rant video. Sometimes you're just gonna rant, right? But at the same time, though, like I said, when you're into a specific genre, that's what you want to be playing. I have friends, really close friends of mine, they're like brothers, and that's all they play is hero shooters. That's their main thing. When they play a competitive game, that's all they play. They don't play any FPS. They don't play anything. I mean, every now and again, they'll double dabble in a little something, but primarily, like 90% of their gaming time that's spent within multiplayer is spent in hero shooters, right? And like I said, no matter what game comes out, they'll play it a little bit, maybe if it's a big enough game or it seems cool and interesting. But at the end of the day, they go back to hero shooters. And people that are FPS players, that's what they play. That's their main thing. They're always looking for another FPS. That is what they enjoy. It's just how people's brains are wired. They're into what they're into. There's some people that only play Nintendo games, right? Or some people that only play little quick cell phone games, like my wife, right? And outside of that, they don't really mess with anything. And it's completely understandable. My youngest son, he's only into games like Roblox and Rec Room and stuff like that. I mean, he likes Fortnite too, but even with Fortnite, he doesn't really play like the Battle Royale. He plays like all of the random modes because they're slowly becoming like a Rec Room or, a Roblox, where they just have all of these games that people have made inside the game. And it just becomes more like a social thing where they just kind of go around and have fun. My oldest son, he's only into like car simulators. He loves like BNG Drive, and there's a handful of other ones that I bought him on Steam because he just got his PC for Christmas. But nonetheless, the point that I'm making is people have niches. And whatever that niche is, people tend to go toward that particular one and they don't really branch out. So like I said, the point I was making is that there isn't much competition for Call of Duty. And that's what part of the problem is that they haven't had any competition for a very long time. And that's a serious problem. That's why you never want. I know a lot of people, they love this idea of like things dying off, right? Like with console wars, people are always like, oh, Xbox is dying. Oh, they're only going to be a game publisher, and PlayStation for the W, and all this other stuff. And then you got, the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, and people want one to cancel out the other one, and I'm just trying to notice that that's a trend, right? People wanting Call of Duty to die, right? Well, then once it dies, what are you going to play? Now, if you're somebody who's a variety gamer, that's fine. But for the people that want to play FPSs that, have like the military, kind of aesthetic to it, even if it is more arcadey or whatever the case is, what are they really going to play? What's as popular? And it's the same thing with, anything like PlayStation, Xbox. Let's just say that, because it does kind of look like that. It looks like Xbox is kind of getting to a point to where, or Microsoft, where they're going to stop making consoles pretty soon. And, and I could be wrong. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, but it's just common sense. What it's looking like to me is like a Nintendo versus Sega thing, where Microsoft is just going to solely become a publisher of games. And, that's just what it's going to be, right? But PlayStation will be the only like actual console. I don't consider Nintendo Switch's console. They're like their own. I need to figure out another way to describe Nintendo, because they're just kind of like in their own little realm and world and stuff, right? But if you don't have competition between the two parties, right, PlayStation and Xbox, what's going to happen? PlayStation is no longer going to feel like they have to compete. There will be no competition. Just like I said earlier about different stores selling bottles of water, right? The reason that they don't ever go much higher than $1, because people will just go, oh man, you're charging $1.50. Man, I could just go right down the street and I could just get a couple of waters for $1, or whatever it is that you're trying to get, whatever it is that you like to get, And that's kind of how that works in business, right? You want PlayStation to keep Xbox on their toes in regards to the quality of games that they put out and the prices and all these different things, and vice versa. You want Xbox around to keep PlayStation on their toes, not so much just for pricing, but also for innovation, right? Like if PlayStation does something and it's new and nobody else is doing it, that's only going to make Xbox step their game up. But then once they've stepped their game up, they're going to have to do something slightly better or offer something slightly better so that people even want to get it to begin with. But if they don't exist, then PlayStation will become stagnant. You're seeing it with Call of Duty. That's what happened. Call of Duty used to have competition, so they used to have to do things and innovate, right? Give you reasons to want to play it. But now they don't really have any competition. So you know what they do? They just go, oh, let's just pop out bundles that we know people want and can't resist. And like I said, I have to be real. I'm being real with you. I will go and get the Ninja Turtle bundles. One, because there hasn't been anything that I want to spend COD points on. So I've amassed like a ridiculous amount of COD points, so I could just go and cop all of them. And, I'm an adult, so I have, disposable income, so I could just, not like saying that as a flex or putting anybody down. It's just that, like, in my age, I should have disposable income, or I wouldn't be sitting here making YouTube videos. I would be out trying to figure my life out, right? Rightfully so. But the thing is, though, is that, I love Ninja Turtles. I don't have my camera on right now, but behind me I got 8 floating shelves, and one of the floating shelves is solely dedicated to Ninja Turtle stuff. One of my earliest birthday memories that I have is me getting these really cool Ninja Turtles. This is back in the 90s, but these really cool Ninja Turtle figures that they could flip. Like, for example, you put one down, they had little suction cups on the feet, a little bit, just enough to where it would hold it in place, and you could bend it in a certain direction, and when it snapped back, it would do a back flip, or it would do a front flip, or what. Each one had their own little things or whatever, right? That's one of my earliest memories, is getting those figures and getting a Power Wheels. I don't know if people remember Power Wheels, but yeah, I had a 4-wheeler Power Wheels, and yeah, I rode that thing until the wheels literally fell off every day, all day long. But yeah, it's one of my earliest memories, man. So to think that I'm not about to sit here and get one of the sickest bundles that COD has possibly ever released, or multiple bundles that they've released, I would be lying to myself. But the thing is that I'd also be lying to myself if I thought that was enough to make me want to sit there and play that game all day and just get hacked on left and right, or at least be paranoid and thinking that every single engagement I'm going to get into, somebody's walling me or aimbotting me or whatever the case may be, right? And, I'm also at a point in life where I have a PC. Yeah, I have a console that's sitting right behind my monitor, got an Xbox. Do I feel like having to downgrade myself and turn on my console to play it when I have a $1,500 PC sitting right next to me? No. The whole point of spending all that money on a PC was so that I could play whatever I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And control the graphic quality and, just all the different amenities that come with having a PC, right? So that's just kind of my rant, you know what I'm saying? But if you've made it this far, I just want to say, because this is a serious rant, man. That's what happens when you pop a Celsius or a Red Bull prior to making a video, especially when you've had a lot of this built up over the last month, because I haven't really been talking about COD or making COD content. But yeah, like I said, if you've made it this far, because I just noticed we're at the 37-minute mark, you're really a champ, man. You really are. And I just want to let you know you're a very goated person. I bet you have lots of friends. You're probably the life of the party whenever you are at one. You're probably your parents' favorite kid. Whoever that person is that you're texting, that you're waiting on to text you back, is definitely probably going to text you back because you're a hell of a catch. Why would they not, right? You're a champ. So, but like I said, I do appreciate you guys for listening. And also, if you've made it this far, leave a comment. Let me know what you think, right? Am I tweaking? Is COD in a much better place? Have I just not given it the time and energy that I should? Is Call of Duty in shambles, and the ship is sinking, and there's just absolutely nothing they can do at this point? They have one foot in the grave already, and the other one rapidly approaching. Just let me know, right? Are you excited for the Ninja Turtle bundles? Is this something you care about? Do you guys want me to start posting more Call of Duty content? If you're watching this video and you're like, yo, get off that Marvel Rivals and play some COD, or maybe you're thinking the opposite. You're like, yo, I don't ever want to see COD on this channel. Only post that Marvel Rivals and everything else that's good that's out there, right? Let me know it all in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing your opinions. Even if we disagree, I don't care. That's normal. I don't want everyone to agree. This is not an echo chamber. You're more than welcome to say whatever it is that you feel like, respectfully. Key word, respectfully. Some of y'all take stuff way too personal, and you come up in there ready to just, go crazy in the comment section. Then YouTube blocks the comment. I don't even see it until the next month when I randomly check the spam or blocked comments folder, because it does put it in a separate folder. And then, I'm just like, what is this? And I just back out of it, don't pay any attention, right? So respectfully, address whatever it is that you want to address, because like I said, I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing what your thoughts and opinions are. I'm just one person, right? I have one perspective. You all possess all different types of information and experiences and opinions and feelings and stuff like that. And that's what the comment section is for you all to address how you feel. But like I said, though, anybody who's made it up here to the 40-minute mark, who's actually still listening, you are a champ, man. Do not forget that. All right. And I love and appreciate all of you. And this is Dark. I'm out, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right.